canceling student debt was simply a bribe. And joining me now is former U.S. Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos, and it's very good to have you on tonight. Been looking forward to getting your take on the move that Biden just made. It's a massive redistribution of wealth to the college educated in this country.
No, absolutely. It is, first of all, patently illegal. And second of all, it's unfair to the Americans, 2 out of 3 who didn't attend college or didn't take out student loans. And for those who faithfully paid, what does it say to them? And not to mention our veterans who have earned their tuition. This is nothing but a vote-getting ploy. And it does nothing to solve the very real issue of the runaway student debt and runaway cost of higher education. It does nothing to address that. We need to go back to the drawing board. And in fact, when you look at all the things that are coming out of the Department of Education, the Biden Department of Education, it makes the case, I think, blatantly makes the case that the Department of Education should not exist. What they're trying to do to Title IX, what they're doing with student debt and student loans, across the board, what they're trying to do to kill charter schools. There is nothing good coming out of the Department of Education, which is exactly why President Trump and I had actually introduced 2 budgets that would have essentially done away with the Department of Education by block granting all the funds back to the states.
I mean, it's amazing. You were the secretary of the department. You want to get rid of it, and you've said that before. Just the fact that, I mean, when you look at this, and the fact that there's no media scrutiny of this at all is what drives me so crazy. But this literally is going to make college more expensive going forward, because just like if you subsidize these green cars, these electric cars, they've already talking about how they give a stipend, right, to people to buy an electric car. The prices of domestic electric cars go up by exactly that much because they know they can't. And it's the same thing in education. You're going to give away $10,000. You're going to exacerbate inflation because you're going to put 10 grand that people didn't expect into the pockets of millions of people. They're going to go into the economy and spend it. Inflation goes up, and also the cost of education goes up as well. It goes against exactly what they said they were going to do. They do exactly the opposite. It's a vote buying scheme.
Yeah, exactly. There is no incentive. There's no governor on what higher ed institutions can charge. And if these loans are just forgiven, it changes nothing about the experience of students today and tomorrow. They're going to take out loans, and they're going to take out loans at a higher and higher level because colleges are going to continue to increase their prices as they have way above and beyond the rate of inflation, particularly since 2010, when the Obama administration federalized student lending and took the private sector out of the equation. We've got to go back to a private sector lending and really upend what is happening now with financing and funding higher education, including supporting multiple pathways beyond high school for important other opportunities other than a 4-year college or university experience.
Do you think education, just the cost of it in this country, just continues to run rampant? I doubt the ideas you're offering. You know damn well big government is never going to allow that to happen.
Well, we're seeing a lot of change already at the K-12 level after the experiences that families have had this last 2 years, the front row seat to see what's actually going on in their children's schools, or in many cases not going on. And so we're seeing parents rising up and saying, we are not going to stand for this any longer. They're going to demand options and choices, which is exactly what I've advocated for over 3 decades. And I think the policies are going to follow that will also ultimately change the experience of higher education. Many students have had to really evaluate the value of their education the last 2 years when they've been sitting in an apartment somewhere paying the full rate of tuition and not being able to go to a class in person. I think there's a lot of changes coming for education from kindergarten through higher education, but we have got to continue to push as grassroots people to say it's time to change and it's time to focus on students, not on institutions and not on buildings.
Very well put. Betsy DeVos, thank you so much for coming on. It's good to see you.
Thanks so much, Rob.